So you want to work in tech sales, maybe you're not really sure where to start. How are you supposed to find a high-paying job? How do you know what a good company is to work for? And where do you even find these companies and get your start? So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you some of my best strategies to find the best high-paying tech sales jobs. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end because there are a lot of companies out there looking for quality talent. And so I'm gonna show you where to find these companies so that it can be a lot more easier for you to break into the industry. What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick Deng here. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, the first thing we're gonna talk about is, does size matter? And depending on where you want to work, the size of the company is going to be extremely important. So there's gonna be small, medium business, / startup, medium sized, and enterprise. Each one of these categories are gonna be very different in what the day-to-day life is like, even if you're doing the exact same role and the exact same job. Culture is gonna be different. The velocity of how fast you go is gonna be different. Company politics are gonna be different. So let's go ahead and break it down. So I'm gonna start with enterprise, right? So I started working at Oracle straight out of college. When you're working at a larger organization like Oracle, they have maybe I think more than 100,000 employees and tens of thousands of salespeople, I believe. I'm not exactly sure of the number, but they got a lot of salespeople, definitely in the thousands. So for salespeople, you gotta understand that as a seller, you're kind of a gear in a machine. In a way, you are replaceable in that if you left your job, it's pretty easy for them to find another person because they're a public company, right? And with that comes with a lot of culture, meaning that there's a lot of company politics, there's a lot of hierarchy, there's a lot of playing your role, building good relationships with the right leaders to advance in your career. So there's a lot of that going on. Also, when it comes to selling the product, in a way it can be easier because when you already have a big brand behind you, it's easier to sell. People know who you are already. It is easier in some sense. You're not going out, nobody knows who you are. People know who you are. So going enterprise first, doesn't have to be Oracle, it could even be small, like another public company. It's a good experience to get that corporate culture experience, which I think is still very valuable and applicable to the rest of your life. And you work at a good company and you get a good name behind you so that if you ever left, well, you have a lot of leverage to get on another job. Now, under enterprise is mid-market, right? So this could be companies with hundreds of employees, not necessarily thousands. So mid-market, people will define it in different ways. It could be by revenue, employee size, different ways to dissect it. But essentially mid-market, in my opinion, is kind of they got the product market fit, meaning their product is pretty good. People are buying it. People like them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be having so many employees, right? Also, because they have product market fit, it's easier for a salesperson to be integrated into a system because as long as you're willing to learn, you just do what they tell you to do, well, you kind of easily fit because the product already works, right? But then at the same time, because it's not as big as an enterprise company, there's less company politics, it moves a little faster, you might learn a little bit more. And so it's more of a balance between being in a corporate structure while being a little bit more nimble, right? And so some people might prefer that. And then we're gonna go into small, medium business / startups. A startup is kind of like a small company with the intention to grow very large, but small, medium business is a smaller business that doesn't have the intention to be a huge thing and they want to be small, right? So startups and small businesses are going to be pretty different, where a startup is very high velocity, where they're trying to push as far as possible to get that exponential growth and they want to sell, move fast, break things kind of mentality. So if you're someone that really thrives in that environment and you're really trying to get close to the sun in that you're trying to see how the founders do things so that maybe one day you want to start your own business, I would recommend joining a startup if the company is good and if the product or service or whatever they're offering is also good and has somewhat product market fit. Because if you join a bad company that can't generate sales, it doesn't make sense to be there because you're not really learning that much, right? So you always want to make sure you're selling a good product. And a lot of times you can look at the product and see if it makes sense for the market and also how much money does this company have in funding to continue to keep the lights on so that you don't have to be looking for a new job anytime soon. Now, the next point I want to touch on when it comes to finding jobs is that the best salespeople actually will be selling the best products and services. So if you are not very good in sales, chances are the best companies are not going to hire you. You'll be stuck selling things that aren't really that great and they are very difficult to sell. And it's kind of weird, right? It's the worse you are at selling and people see that, the worse jobs you get and the less money you make as well because you're not that good at selling and the product sucks. But if you're super good at selling, the best companies are going to hire you and you're going to be selling the easiest things to sell. So then you make significantly more money, the top makes significantly more money than the bottom bottom of salespeople, right? That's really something you should pay attention to, because you always want to be in a position where you're selling the best product or service possible. Because the offer, meaning like whatever the company is selling to a customer, that core itself is so extremely important and will determine your success as a salesperson. You can be the most amazing salesperson in the entire world, right? But if somebody gives you a terrible product that everybody hates, you're not gonna sell anything. And even if you did sell it, well, people are gonna refund because they're like, dude, this sucks. Why'd you sell it to me? That's why you always wanna look for the best companies possible that you can get. And I understand, like, maybe you don't have sales experience, maybe you can't really prove that you're gonna do a good job, I get it, but you wanna do everything in your ability to show like, hey, I'm coachable, I'm willing to learn, I'm very confident, I can do well in the job. Definitely try to get the best product or service possible, because that's gonna make your life significantly easier. So don't just like take any random job just because it was available. Really do your homework and understand like, okay, this is where I can see my future. This is a great product. I can stand behind it. You know, I can look someone in the eye and say like, this is what you should buy. If you can do that, then you're definitely in the right position. So if you're trying to see if company has a legit product or service, it's actually quite simple. All you got to do is go to the company website, look at their products and see, does it actually make sense for the market they're selling to? Like, you just have to connect the two. Do they provide value? Yes or no? And then from there, you want to look at, you know, on their company website, who are their customers, right? What are some of the logos that they closed? And if they're like big, legit companies, that's a good thing, right? If a big company is buying their product or service, it makes sense. From there, what you want to do is you want to go to the LinkedIn page of this company and look at how many salespeople they have and how many marketing people they have, right? Because the more salespeople a company has, especially if they're paying salaries, well, the more confident they are in that they're generating sales. So the more sales a company is generating, the better the product is working, right? So how many sales development reps do they have? How many account executives do they have, like closers? And then you kind of get a gist of like, if they have a lot, then it makes sense. Like, that means they must be closing a lot of deals. Otherwise, they wouldn't be paying these salaries. Also, when you look at marketing, like, are they expanding their marketing team? Are they trying to do more content marketing, paid ads? Like, marketing basically is a function that helps the salespeople sell more stuff, right? So the more marketers are hired, that means the more it's working. Otherwise, they won't hire these people, they'll be losing money. You can also check the company's career page and see what they're hiring for, right? If they're hiring a bunch of salespeople and a bunch of marketers, and you just read into the descriptions and they'll say like, oh, we're trying to expand in this market, we're trying to do this. You know, the more expansion kind of language that they have, the better, because that means the product is working. So the next question that you might have is, how do you actually find these companies that you may want to work for, right? And so there are 3 places that I would generally start looking, and it actually is quite simple. The first one we're gonna use is LinkedIn. So let's go ahead and go into my computer. Okay, so if you're on LinkedIn, right, all you really have to do is you wanna go to jobs, and then you wanna type in the city that you wanna work into. So let's say Los Angeles area, which is where I'm from. And then let's say you wanna find sales development representative, which is an entry-level sales job, right? So by typing this in, you're gonna get all the different jobs in Los Angeles that fit the sales development key phrase. So these are usually all entry level, sometimes they'll say remote. And then you just kind of scroll through and you see like, you know, which one do you wanna apply for? Like this one, they need an inside sales rep. They're paying 62 to 100K a year. Pretty good. Not always will they show their salary because they wanna negotiate it, but some people are willing to do that. And then you just scroll around and then you see which one fits the best for you. And you know, you can apply directly on LinkedIn, or you can, you know, try to find a recruiter and message them directly if you want to build that personal relationship. There's a couple ways to go about it, but LinkedIn is definitely one where there's just a lot of jobs. Like just in Los Angeles right now, there's 2,000 right here. But if you go, let's say like San Francisco, Bay Area, 2,000 jobs in sales development reps. So, you know, this could be you. You can apply for the job and then get in. Simple as that. So it doesn't have to be that complicated. LinkedIn is very powerful. You can use referrals if you know someone that works there, but in general, you can just apply cold and you'll get some interviews. All right, so the next one that I'm gonna show you is AngelList. So AngelList is basically a job board, but it's more like tech and startup focused, right? So you won't get like real estate companies in there unless they're like technology real estate companies or something, right? So for anyone who's like super interested in tech, I would definitely check this out. So when you're on AngelList and you create an account, all you gotta do is, you know, same thing, sales development rep. They have all types of jobs out here, not just sales. And let's say we're going to San Francisco, and you know, there's like almost 1,000 results here. So same thing as LinkedIn, it's basically like a list of jobs. It'll show you who the company is, how many employees they have, you know, some of the benefits, and then sometimes it'll show you if it's remote and what the salary is looking like, right? It could be a salary plus OTE, meaning what does the salary plus commission look like? And you know, for this one, it looks like it's gonna be, you know, 55K to 75K. Qualifications, for example, you know, at least 1 to 2 years relevant work experience. But like, what is really relevant, right? It's an entry-level job, to be honest. Bachelor's degree in business or related field, honestly, it doesn't really matter. AngelList is really good because they're gonna show you the salaries. They show you if it's remote, just like LinkedIn. And if they're a startup, sometimes they'll offer you a equity position. So you join the company, you stay for X amount of years, you'll get 0.01% of the company, right? All right, right here, I found it. So like they're offering, let's say 0.01% to 0.02% of equity to join the company, right? So if you're someone that wants to get into the tech scene, you want some equity in a company, check out AngelList. And of course, there are gonna be other job boards. There's so many different ones. Like if you just Google top job boards for sales, you'll find a ton. And those will work as well, right? Definitely check out different job boards. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, but I just wanna show you one example of AngelList so you got an idea of how to think about it. Okay, so the final place that you should look at when it comes to finding a sales job is you wanna look at the company's website itself. A lot of times, maybe they don't post on AngelList or LinkedIn and they're just like, we're gonna post it on our website, people are gonna find it. So what you wanna do is you go to the company that you really like. Usually this works really well for if you actually know who the company is ahead of time, you're not just randomly applying, and you wanna work here because you love the company, right? So for example, Dropbox is a software that I use to store a lot of my data, all these videos, it's my backup, it's a good product, right? So if I wanted a job at Dropbox, basically you just go to their website, go to the jobs, and then you just filter by whatever you want to get into. So let's say sales, right? So if you type in sales, basically you get a bunch of different roles. They got account executives they're looking for, account managers, sales enablement managers, which is more like sales training. So a lot of different sales jobs, different locations, like this is Sweden, this is Japan, Ireland, right? So if there's a company that you really want to work at, go to their website and see what jobs are available, because that's why they put it there, right? And so this is really good, especially if there's a particular place that you really want to work, apply through there. If they don't respond, find the recruiter on LinkedIn, send them a message, maybe message the CEO, say like, hey, I love this job. Who do you think can help me see if it's the right fit? And then start the process from there, right? I would say like overall, if there's some place you really want to work, don't give up on the first try, because sometimes they filter you out for whatever reason. But if you show that you are consistent and you really want it and you're going to work harder than everybody else, then it really goes a long way. And so with that said, that is pretty much some of my best tips when it comes to finding the best top tier jobs in tech sales. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Also, if you want to learn more about how much you can actually get paid working in tech sales, check out my other video where I go deep into analyzing the different salaries and how much you can actually make. So check that out right here. With that said, my name is Patrick Dang. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next.